James Kaufman, World News Report today, April 30th, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Biden's Department of State had official office to censor Americans. Secretary of State Marco Rubio dropped a bombshell today that should frighten every conservative nationwide. President Trump and his team held a cabinet meeting Wednesday. Team Trump spent a good portion of the meeting touting the president's impressive record on issues ranging from immigration to the economy. But amid the celebration, Rubio mentioned some disturbing information. He revealed that Biden's Department of State had created dossiers with the full intention of spying on the content and censoring Americans' free speech rights. Quote, "We had an office in the Department of State whose job it was to censor Americans," Rubio said. Breaking, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced he located dossiers created by the Biden regime with the intent to censor certain Americans. There is at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building. This is considered blackmail, and those responsible should be arrested. When's that going to happen, Pam Bondi? Now, Nick believes that the dossier was on Elon Musk, but I don't know if we know who the dossier was really on. Let's listen to what Marco Rubio has to say about the situation.
Something else we got out of the business of, it wasn't widely reported, or maybe it was. We had an office in the Department of State whose job it was to censor Americans. And by the way, I'm not going to say who it is, I'll leave it up to them. There's at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building of social media posts to identify them as purveyors of disinformation. We have these dossiers. We are going to be turning those over to these individuals.
We can follow up with the media.
Well, we are going to turn over these dossiers to the individuals, and they'll decide whether they want to disclose it or not. But just think about it. The Department of State of the United States had set up an office to monitor the social media posts and commentary of American citizens to identify them as vectors of disinformation. When we know that the best way to combat disinformation is freedom of speech and transparency. And so that's what we're going to be in the business of doing. We're not going to have an office that does that.
I guess the final, nail in the coffin is the Biden regime absolutely broke every law the Constitution granted every American. Why hasn't anyone been arrested or paid for all these crimes against America? Pam Bondi, come on, let's get going. Please share, subscribe, and always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world.